I think I'm all right, Dan.
Okay, so Mark, if you can hear us, if you like to, we're all in the room and ready to go.
Okay.
So I'll hand over to you, Mark.
Thanks, mate. Apologies for that, folks. Thanks, Mikel. So we'll start with the broadcast section as normal. And if we can come, please, to Damien Johnson from Premier League.
Hello, Mikel. It's Damien Johnson from Premier League Productions. First of all, COVID has dominated everything. How are you? How is the rest of the squad? And how do you propose to keep in touch with what's happening on the day of the game?
Well, first of all, I feel much better today. I had a couple of rough days, but obviously I have experienced this before, so not bad at all. And the rest of the squad is in a good place. We tested the players. We don't have any other news than the one we had before, and try to communicate with them as much as possible, and obviously relying in the rest of the team and coaches that we have, that I believe in them 100%.
In terms of Manchester City, obviously since your time there, they've lost the likes of Silva and Aguero, but other players have developed. New ones have come in like Grealish. Are they a better team than when you left?
Well, they are different teams. Obviously, the fact that they've been 6 years together, obviously they are getting the perfection in every phase of the play, in every aspect of the game, much better. Obviously, the cohesion of the team and the synergy between them, because of the amount of time they have spent together, gets better and better. And the numbers speak by themselves. What they've done in the last calendar year is remarkable.
6 of the Arsenal players that played at Norwich also featured in the game against Manchester City earlier in the season when you were well beaten. How much have they come on, and how much of a learning curve was the experience that day?
Well, I hope to experience a very different game. We started that game really positively, but in the first action we conceded a goal. They went down to 10 men, and obviously it's difficult enough to play 11 against 11. So when it goes 10 against 11 for such a long time in the game, becomes a real challenge. And we suffer, but sometimes those defeats help you to become a better team and stick together and understand where the level is and the mistakes that you cannot make against this type of opposition.
Do you feel that you're playing them this weekend as genuine equals, given the form that you're showing at the moment?
We are preparing the game like any other game, and we know the opposition that we're going to be facing. There's no need to talk about that because it's so obvious, and focus on what we have to do to try to win the game, compete in every moment of the game, and have the belief, which is the most important thing, right from the beginning, that we can go and win the game.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Jamie from Sky.
Thanks very much, Mark. Good afternoon, Mikel. Glad to hear you're on the mend. Can you just clarify for us who will be on the bench tomorrow and who is, in inverted commas, in charge tomorrow?
Well, Albert will be in charge with the rest of the team, and depending who of the coaches are available, because we had so many issues in that department recently, everybody will be there trying to help as much as possible.
So at this stage, you still don't know which coaches might actually be on the bench tomorrow?
No.
And will you be in sort of video communication with them, with walkie-talkies or an earpiece or things like that?
We will be in touch, but as well, I want to give them the possibility, the responsibility and the freedom to make decisions on the pitch, to express themselves, because it's completely different to being on that touchline close to the players and the action than being at home. So I'm going to be here to support and help in certain moments, but they have to get the momentum of the game and communication with the players themselves.
Are you somebody who's happy relinquishing control, or are you a bit of a control freak? Do you like to be in charge?
Well, I never experienced what I'm going to experience in tomorrow, but it's what it is. It's not going to be easy. You feel frustrated and with lack of options, because obviously not being in training sessions, not being able to prepare things like you want, to pass the message that you want, to have the players feeling that you are next to them. It's a different experience, but we have to adapt to it, and we have tried to do that the best possible way to get well prepared for tomorrow.
As Damien was alluding to there, you've come a long way since the last time you played Manchester City, and a lot of praise for the side over the last few weeks. There has been a criticism of Arsenal in the past that when you play the likes of Liverpool or Manchester City, these teams that can hurt you offensively, that you play into their hands. You don't adapt your style of play to combat them. Are you just going to play your own style of football tomorrow, or are you going to try to stop City?
Well, we have played in different ways against the two teams that you just mentioned. We play with different formation. We play with back threes, back fives, back fours, with two strikers in different ways. And we had found some results against them. And recently, especially against City, the two games that we play at the Etihad, we play with 10 men, which makes the game very, very difficult. But everything that we're going to prepare is to try to win and give the team the best possible chance to compete that game, because that's the closer you are to win it.
Just one final one from me. Apologies if you spoke about this on Boxing Day, but the latest with Ainsley Maitland-Niles, are talks still ongoing with Roma?
Any news with any players or what is happening, you know that we always keep it private, and Ainsley is our player at the moment.
Muchas gracias. Feliz año nuevo.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thanks, Jamie. Ian from TalkSport.
Thanks, Mark. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Mikel. Hope you're feeling better.
Happy New Year.
You've had this before, but of course, last time you got it, all of football was closed down. Now, of course, we're carrying on. Are you a good watcher remotely? I mean, are you going to be pacing around the room? I mean, are the kids going to be banished to obviously they're banished to another room anyway, but I mean, in general, how are you going to cope with not being at a football match tomorrow?
Very strange. I think I would need a big room so I can walk and move a little bit, because I won't be able to stand in my sofa. It's a big game for us, and it's a really frustrating thing not to be able to be there helping the team. But I will do my best from here with everything that I can do, and we have prepared for every scenario possible, and they know what we have to do, and then it will be down to the players to execute as much as possible what we have to do tomorrow.
You say you prepare for every scenario. I mean, during COVID, I guess you've had to prepare for this, for the fact that you're not there one day and whoever, you know, be it your assistant manager or his assistant or even the press officer takes charge of the game.
And that's a possibility. And with the amount of positives that we have in the coaching team, we have discussed that a lot, but the same with the players. We don't know who is going to be available tomorrow, because things are changing very quickly, and then you don't want to be reacting. So that's why you have to be prepared for different options.
This is the biggest test of your revival, isn't it? I mean, you played really well recently. You've scored goals. You've got lots of points, but this is really, I guess, how far you will know this team has come.
Well, it's the biggest test in terms of the level of the opposition. That's 100%, and they have shown that really consistently throughout the year, and not only in this year, but in the last 6 years. So that's the level. They have raised a different bar in this league that has been known of, and that's what we have to get, and that's the aim that we have as a team and as a club.
Just a couple more. First of all, it's a big month. City. You've then got Liverpool in the League Cup, Spurs, the FA Cup starts. I mean, how much is this month going to shape the destiny of the season now for Arsenal?
Well, we're going to be playing 3 different competitions, and these are knockout competitions, so you are in or out. So obviously, winning or losing makes a whole difference to the team and the success of the season. So we know and we are prepared for that.
And finally, as I alluded to earlier, the team are in great form. And I guess that proves that you were right in your decision regarding Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, because the dressing room has definitely backed you by going out and performing and getting the results they have.
For me, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about making the decisions that you believe are consequent with what you are asking to do. And I made that decision. And as I said, it will go game by game.
Brilliant. Listen, happy New Year and get well soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian. George, BBC.
Thanks, Mark. And Mikel, just on Pierre, just as you've been asked, can you just explain what the reason is to let him go to AFCON early in comparison to the other three players in your squad? What was the feeling behind that?
We had a letter from the national team asking permission to get the player, and the player wasn't going to get involved today. So for his fitness and to keep competing, it was the right thing to do.
Thank you. Just in terms of Albert, can you just tell us a bit about him, where you met him, why you've got so much trust in him, and what you like about his coaching beliefs?
Well, I met him a few years ago through another coach. Obviously, is a coach that I knew before because of his reputation and who has been working under before. And yeah, we had a really good connection. We have the same beliefs. We see the game in the same way. We share all of the values that we believe have to be installed at the club. And it's someone that is very close to me. And he's more than capable. He's done it before. So on that sense, I'm very relaxed about it.
What will be happening at halftime? Will you be doing a team talk remotely on Zoom, or are you leaving it all up to him? And if you say, oh, I want to bring someone on or I want to bring someone off, will you text that to him and make that decision, or totally in his call?
Hopefully things go well and I don't have to do too much and they can do it. But yeah, the situation have been discussed and obviously we will have some communication.
And just the last one from me. Have you seen the calendar table? You're on 76 points for the year, so very impressive, and that will put you in the top four, which must give you a lot of confidence going forward for the next few months.
Well, it's I think it's a really important thing because that shows the consistency that we had in terms of results that are obviously led by performances. But unfortunately, it doesn't give us anything, and we have to do it not in the calendar year, but in the Premier League year. And that's the challenge that we have ahead of us. And we have shown that we are capable of doing it. So that's where we're heading.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Thanks, George. Nick.
Hi, Mikel. Good to see you. A few of us spoke to Pep the other night, looking forward to this game, and he said that you were Arsenal's most important player for what you're doing on and off the pitch, and you'll be greatly missed on Saturday. What's your reaction to that? Do you think he's just being nice to you as your friend, or playing some mind games?
No, I think he's just been nice. We talked yesterday because he called me to ask me how I was. Because we have that relationship, and tomorrow he will be defending his club and I will be defending from home my club. But if you hear to him, he always says that the players are the protagonists and the most important ones, and I agree on that one.
Okay, I'll send you the clip. He was very complimentary. He also said that this is the best Arsenal team he has seen since he's been working in the Premier League. What's your reaction to that? Would you agree with that?
Well, that is always good to hear that other coaches think like that to the work that we are doing. But that my feeling is that they are the best team that have existed in the history of the Premier League, and they have proven that consistently throughout the years. And that's the level where we have to get. And as that table shows, we are still really far from it. So that's the margin and the aim that we all should have.
Just another quick question on Oba. What's the situation with him when he gets back from African nations? Have you got a plan to talk to him then?
At the moment, he's gone. He needs to focus on the national teams, and we had the conversation that that was the best possible way to do it. And as I said before, we will address that game by game. And
I know you want to avoid speaking about individuals, but you've been quite busy in January in the last couple of years, players coming and going. Do you expect a lot of activity? Players such as Balogun and Ainsley going out on loan, for example?
We are expecting some activity because there are a few players and we have a few loans that hopefully we'll have to complete but depends. It's as we all know, a very complicated market, and it's a short window. So we will see what happens.
Okay, just a final question, then, a bit of a joke one. Do you have any New Year resolutions?
No, I just want to finish. I start the season, the year. Sorry, like we ended. That tomorrow everybody is healthy, that we perform and get the points that we want, and for the rest of the people, I think what we're all aiming for, which is health, and somehow get rid of this virus for the rest of our lives.
Good stuff. I hope you're right. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Ian. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Nick. Right, just a couple of quick ones. 10:30 deadline tonight. Just conscious, folks, of Mikel's voice bearing up. Sam from Telegraph.
Hi, Mikel. Sorry you've been feeling a bit rough. How will you actually watch the game tomorrow? Will you get a special feed from the club, or will you have it on TV like the rest of us from home?
I think I would have a special feed, and I can watch it like we normally do all the games that we analyze.
Is that a different camera angle?
Yes.
Is that the higher one? Trying to get the logistics of it. I find it fascinating.
Hopefully, yes, we can use that one and it gives us a proper view.
Yeah, and will you watch it with the kids, with the family? Do you think, or will you lock yourself away?
By myself, fully focused in one room.
Yeah. Obviously, you're very proactive on the touchline. You talk a lot to the players and you give them a lot of instructions. How do you think they will cope without that guidance on the pitch tomorrow?
Hopefully, really good. And Albert and the other coaches, when they are around, they would have complete freedom to do what they want to do and what they feel is right to do. And I have already discussed that with them. So it will be down to them, and the players are the ones that have to coach themselves. That's the best way.
Just lastly, does any part of you think you might quite enjoy being able to just see your team without the whole world looking at you and wondering on you and the pressure?
No, because it's nothing like being there. That's why I decided to become a coach. And the best moment of the week is when you are there on that touchline and you start to see what is happening, the way you have prepared your players, your team, to accomplish what you want to do in the game, whether it's happening or not, and you are able to change it. And there is no other moment like that.
Okay, thanks, Mikel. Get well soon.
Thanks, Sam. Mark?
Hi, Mikel. Just briefly, if we just go back to that game against City at the Etihad, do you sort of look at that game as a bit of a turning point? I think afterwards you made 7 changes to the team after that. You brought in Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Lokonga, Gabriel, Odegaard. Was it almost the turning point for your season?
Well, obviously, the start of the season, the first 3 games, we were low in a lot of numbers for COVID, for injuries, because the players that we signed weren't ready to be with us yet. So it was a completely different team. That is true. But then I always said that there was a turning point in terms of how we reacted as a group, as a team, as a club to that situation. And that's when we started the run afterwards, which in my opinion wasn't a coincidence, because the reaction that they all have, it was only to think in the same direction and stick together and be united.
Yeah, you had that international break straight after that game. Was that crucial in basically getting this reset and getting everyone back in a positive frame of mind?
Yes, it was really tough, because obviously you want to play after that. If you normally you want to play straight away to get that feeling out of your stomach, but it wasn't possible. So we used that time to do other things and try to reframe where we were, accept our reality, because we were bottom of the league on that moment, and we had to accept that, to try to change it, and there was some work to do there.
And obviously you were under a lot of pressure at that time. Did you think maybe it was a bit of a gamble to make so many changes so quickly and to go so far so quickly with the young players?
Well, you always question that, but when we made a decision to go through that route, you were going to get some inconsistency, because they never done it at that level, and we had a lot of them. But they have proved that they can do it, and they've been really demanding with themselves, and at the same time they have handled difficult situations in a great way.
And just finally, I mean, Arsenal's record against City is pretty poor. I think you've taken 1 point from the last 11 games. Is there almost a psychological thing with some teams that players almost think they're our bogey team?
I don't know. I hope it doesn't, but it's time to change it. That's for sure. That's a lot of games, and only 1 point obviously is not good enough. And tomorrow we have another opportunity, but it's about the belief that you have that you can do it, and that mental aspect has to be there before stepping and crossing that line tomorrow. And hopefully we're going to have our people. And tomorrow, for me, they're going to be more crucial than ever to create this atmosphere, this energy in difficult moments we would have, that they stick to the team and they give that extra energy and passion to the game that lifts everybody's energy as much as possible.
Thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, folks. Just a reminder, the questions from Sam and Mark at the end, 10:30 embargo tonight. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Thanks,
Happy
Mikel.
New Year to you all. Thank you.